Good morning. I am going to read you a story called Henry's Awful Mistake. And this is a story that I would read over and over again when I was little, and I would bug my mom and dad to read it just one more time before I went to bed. So it's called Henry's Awful Mistake. The day Henry the Duck asked his friend Clara over for supper, he found an ant in his kitchen. Henry was worried that Clara would see the ant. She might think his house was not clean. This ant had to go. Henry reached for a can of ant spray, but he didn't want to spray near the food he was cooking, so he chased the ant with a frying pan. Henry ran around the kitchen chasing after the ant, but the ant got away and hid behind the stove. Henry took the food he was cooking off the stove. Then he shut off the flame and pulled the stove away from the wall. He saw the ant. The ant saw Henry and ran into a small crack in the wall. Henry went and got a hammer. Are you getting some predictions in your head? Henry pounded a big hole in the wall where the crack was, but he couldn't find the ant, so he kept on pounding. The hole got bigger and bigger. At last, Henry saw the ant sitting on a pipe inside the wall. Oh dear. Henry aimed the hammer at the ant and missed. The blow of the hammer broke the pipe. Water came shooting out of the pipe. Henry couldn't stop it. Henry grabbed a towel. He tied it around the pipe, and the water stopped shooting out. But Henry hadn't stopped the water soon enough. It had sprayed all over the kitchen. Everything was soaked, except for Clara's supper. Thank goodness. Henry began mopping up the puddles of water. All at once, he slipped and banged against the kitchen table. Everything came crashing down. Henry was covered with pots and pans and food. Poor Henry. The supper was ruined. There was nothing Henry could do now but to call Clara and tell her not to come. While Henry was talking on the telephone, the towel came loose from the pipe. The water came shooting out and flooded the whole house. Henry was carried right out the front door by the flood. See him on the phone there? Oh, poor Henry. There was no going back. Poor Henry's house was washed away by the flood. He saved what he could and moved into a new house. When Henry was settled in his new house, he again asked Clara over for supper. Just as he went to the door to let Clara in, he saw an ant. What do you guys think he did? He looked the other way. And I hope you enjoyed Henry's Awful Mistake.